Hi everyone, here is my presentation, Music and the Brain in Infancy and Early Childhood. Here are some gathered information that I wanted to add here, and it's about babies are musical, they have innate musical behaviors, and they use music as meaningful communications in their earliest years of development. Evidence suggests that early music experience may arise from fundamental group members like a mother and a child. From this exposure to music during these developmental years, the chances of a child pursuing music in school is quite high and very desired for. Infancy and music here, I have a musical nurture, which is a term, and it is achieved primarily by one-on-one and or infant directed singing, and singing that is by the exposure of live or recorded music at a home or elsewhere. The ways in which caregivers should do this is they should sing to their infants that have songs that are higher pitched, a tempo that is predictable, more emotion, slower rather than solitary. And it should be the same song just so they're used to repetition, just like lullabies here that are simple and repetitive. And songs that are more emotionally expressive are known as self-directed singing as well. And a way to just add on to this, caregivers should have eye contact and eye widening and be very expressive when singing and connecting and bonding with their child. To just further explain the study on infant directed singing, known as happy sound speech, is more effective than adult directed speech. Happy sounding speech is what we've mentioned, lighter, loftier in sound, higher pitched, slower, different tempos, predictable tempos, everything that we just mentioned. And these are good for the effects on infant attention. And overall, songs that are just positive sounding. This is great to have because it affects the mood and arousal of your infants, and it can play a big role in sustaining their composure and averting from any kind of stress. To tie this all together, how this correlates into early childhood, children's ability to learn and succeed in schools begin prenatally with the development of the brain musically. And in addition to this, I found a quote that said, talking and reading provides children with musical experience and has a significant impact on young children's development. I found a research study that solidifies the importance of music, and it was about 22 preschool children did 8 months of keyboard and singing, and then there was another group that was 15 students, and they did not receive any kind of musical training. So what this means is that the children who received lessons scored significantly higher on an object assembly task, which in this case is child arranges pieces of a puzzle. And compared to those that did not receive this training, it was proven that the music improved these 22 students on the object assembly task because they had these 4 months of training. Just to add some quotes that I found that tie together early childhood and the brain. I'm sure we've all heard these before. In the initial stages of life, children's brain are similar to a sponge soaking up liquids. Music creates neurological magic. A child's brain develops faster with the exposure to music education. The claim is simple. If children learn an instrument, they will do better in core curriculum learning too. The area of the brain that processes musical sound is presumed to be also responsible for auditory processing of language, reading skills, and so on. To connect this, to connect these years, just some overview from birth and even before birth, children are immersed in the sounds of language, so why not expose them to the language of music? It is known that cognitive demands of something as complex as language or music occurs in both hemispheres of the brain. And just as primary caregivers speak to children consistently, they should also sing to children consistently. And the development of ear comprehension precedes reading, writing, or grammatical structure education. These models of learning can also be applied to the development of music literacy. And to conclude, this slide, I wanted to incorporate ways that music educators can also think about this in the back of their mind, as I'm sure we all do, but I wanted to just add it because I find it really interesting and I want to use it in my teaching as well. But here's some overviews. What can be done musically in those years of infancy crosses over into early childhood years. Parents, caregivers, and teachers should involve children in active and expressive modes of music making, like singing, moving, playing around, sound making, etc. Music helps to develop, mature, and nurture the brain, as well as their personality, character, and emotional well-being. Music expertise, music educators with expertise in early childhood are in fact always working and collaborating with other researchers to build a foundation of understanding the structures and templates in the brain for musical processing and perception. Music educators need to continue to involve researchers in cognitive science, in neuroscience, and in developmental psychology to address issues of basic musical responses and expressions. These were just some overviews and takeaways from my various surveys of literature, but I hope you enjoyed this project, and I look forward to your questions.